Hi guys, Shane from Long McQuaid here. Today we're going to be looking at some recording equipment with some of our staff members. A lot of people get confused with recording, especially just starting getting into it. So today we kind of made a challenge with our staff members to create a various recording rigs at home. So this challenge, we have a $500 max budget, that's before taxes, and you must include at least one MIDI controller in the setup. We'll try and include a little bit of a demo with what you can do, and if you guys could drop some comments and let us know what you think. What's your favorite rig? What would you do differently? And any questions you might have. Enjoy! All right, Devin, what do we have here? What did you choose to do with your budget?
Awesome. So for recording, I decided on the Akai Professional MPK Mini. Partially because it has the drum pads at the top here. If you're wanting to use a drum pad to create a drum line, you are able to. And it also has a keyboard there, just like a regular piano. Now, the one thing that I was really going for my controller and interface setup was getting as much software with it as well. So that way it's less of an expense. So this automatically comes with both PreSonus Studio One and Ableton Live Lite with it. So you have two software to choose from. And then with the MPK Mini, you also get the MPC Beats to create backing drum tracks as well. I decided to go with the Samson CL1 condenser microphone.
How about the headphones, Devin?
Headphones, I just grabbed the Samsung SR350. They're an over-ear headphone.
And is this set up for PC or Mac?
This can be used on both, actually. So Mac is really good at being plug and play with pretty well anything, except for certain hardware that's not designed for it, obviously. Whereas Windows, both PreSonus and Akai are really good at having drivers available for any of their hardware.
Now in a year you come into a little bit more money, you bought this setup already. What would be the next piece of gear or next pieces of gear you'd be looking at purchasing?
The next pieces of gear would probably be your speakers. And then once the speakers are set, probably next would be the controller.
Hey everybody, it's James here at Long McQuaid North Bay. So I've picked a number of things, and the idea in mind is to try and reach as wide a range of individuals as possible. So I've gone and picked a handful of things here, and the first thing I've started off with is the audio interface. You need the audio interface to take analog sound from the world that's out around us here and digitize it, pass it on to a Mac or PC computer, or in the case of the PreSonus AudioBox i1, you can actually connect it to an iOS device. I picked this one because for the price range, they're 150 bucks. You get a dedicated microphone input, a dedicated guitar, bass, or instrument input, headphone out, speaker out, USB into the computer. The clever thing for iOS devices on this is you use the provided USB cable that comes with it, plug that into your charger brick, and then you use the cable you would usually use for charging your phone plugged into the device input. Then the power from the power brick powers the interface, also sends power onto your device, and then you're able to actually run recording apps on your Mac, or sorry, on your iPad or your iPhone. What's really valuable here is it includes the PreSonus Studio One software. PreSonus Studio One has 3 different tiers. This one comes with Studio One Artist. Perfect layout for a home user. You have included effects processors, there's guitar amp models, there's built-in drum kits, there's built-in software instruments. You can actually produce an entire album just with the PreSonus Studio One Artist that's inside there, no matter what instrument you play. Pretty cool little package. Amazing value for just home starters, someone getting into recording. Getting sound from the outside world into your audio interface requires either a pickup or a transducer. This little guy here, for $100, the Apex 435, is an incredible little microphone. good, crisp, very detailed sound. There's not much that really competes with it at the price point for giving you great clarity and a lot of detail. Little tiny stand there is optional. They're about 12 bucks. If you are recording voice and you're doing singing for the best performance, do stand up. It gets opens things up, and you'll need a bit bigger microphone stand than that. Then for us to make any judgments on what we're doing to hear what's happening inside this software environment, we're going to need speakers or headphones. If you've got a limited budget, your best bet is to invest in headphones. Headphones, dollar for dollar, is going to give you a much better sound quality and detail compared to entry-level speakers. I picked these. These are really my favorite starter headphones. These are super comfortable. I'm also going to show you this little guy here, the Arturia Minilab. The Minilab is a USB MIDI controller. So it has absolutely no sounds on its own. It's just this little box here. But powered through USB, once it connects to your computer, it allows you to remote control the software instruments inside the Studio One environment. The other really clever thing is every single one of these knobs is automatically mapped to parameters on that synthesizer. So if I bring up a nice little lead sound, I can tweak the sounds immediately right from the knobs. It's also got drum pads, so if I bring up one of those drum kits that I was talking about inside of Studio One, you can play drum parts on it. So that whole little kit there, combined with a Mac or PC computer, $500, it'll get you any instrument that's in our world, recorded through a microphone, any instrument you may have that has a pickup or has a line out, like a synthesizer, a drum machine, a keyboard, a guitar, a bass. If you have a pickup in it, you're plugged in there. And then if there's instruments you want to trigger from the software world, there's a little keyboard there.
James, what other pieces of gear were you looking at instead of these? Anything else you considered?
Yeah, there's a lot of great alternatives to this. So if we kind of go left to right, in the compact MIDI keyboard controllers, the folks at Korg, the folks at Novation, the folks at Akai, they all have some great options. Korg have these amazing little tiny ones called the Nano Key or Nano Pad. There's one dedicated one for drum pads or for keys. The world of compact audio interfaces is quite vast. The folks at Focusrite make some amazing interfaces in the same price point. The folks at Steinberg, which is part of Yamaha, have very, very competitive ones. The Yamaha one, or Steinberg ones, also include Cubase recording software. Roland has them. There's so many interfaces that you can choose from, but I would say some of the standouts would be the UR series from Steinberg. Very, very great sellers for us. They're great, reliable. The Scarlett series from Focusrite, also very, very, very popular, very great competitors to these guys here. Both of them include recording software. Both of them get you up and running quite well. In the world of microphones, again, just like the interfaces, there's tremendous amount of selection available. Audio-Technica has some great starter microphones. The folks at Aston have some microphones, a little step up from these ones here, but incredible, incredible sound quality and value.
So let's say you got this set up, and a year from now you came into a little bit more money, you wanted to expand on it, improve it. What would be the next piece of gear you'd be looking at?
One of the first places you might consider an upgrade after the fact when you've outgrown this setup is your audio interface. The audio interface, when you go into upgrade options, you can look at interfaces that have more than one microphone preamp, allowing you to capture, say, a natural piano with stereo microphones, or you can sing voice and use a microphone on an acoustic guitar simultaneously. The AudioBox family has one called the AudioBox 96 or the AudioBox i2. Both of those feature two XLR microphone inputs. In the PreSonus Studio series or Quantum series, you start to get more and more and more XLR microphone inputs. Across a wide range of other manufacturers, you can purchase ones that have multiple microphone preamps. Another upgrade option that exists would be in the software realm. you can either take the PreSonus Studio One software that's in there, Studio One Artist, and you can upgrade to Studio One Professional. It's going to give you the Melodyne pitch correction option, the mastering tools that are in there. Or you can go third party, and you can add on instruments and effects processors from other developers, such as Native Instruments or Universal Audio or Waves. Those are some of the big companies, and there's a lot of smaller developers that make a really amazing tools that give you different effects. There's a lot of options there, and most companies will allow you to download a demo and try out their software first. I would really encourage trying those things out, and then you can experiment and see what sound options are available to you.
This is what I chose for the challenge. We got some very comparable products to the other guys. My philosophy coming into this was I'm a guitar player, and I look for stuff that would really complement my playing. This would work for any bass player or guitar player, but it is a very general setup. Same with the other guys. I tried to include some software with the products. So the big thing is my interface here is the UR12 built by Steinberg. It comes with Cubase AI, which is an awesome program, very powerful. One big difference I have from the other guys is I put a little bit more money into software. So while Cubase is free, I did include a copy of EasyDrummer. EasyDrummer is a super powerful program. It's $185 through Long & McQuaid. It allows you to program a full drum track, program them all into EasyDrummer, and record them with Cubase. Awesome combination of programs. So next up I have the Shure PGA 48, real introductory level dynamic microphone. It'll be good for miking up my guitar amp, or I could do vocals through it as well. And again, a little tripod stand as well. If you're doing vocals, like James suggested, stand up when you do it, don't sit down. You're gonna lose a lot of that proper form when you're sitting down. Next up, from Nektar, we have the SE25. Awesome little MIDI controller. Really cost effective. We're selling this for $68.99. Awesome MIDI controller to get you started. You got the 2 octaves, and it's basically plug and play. For this, I'm going to use this MIDI controller through EasyDrummer to write and record my drums on. Some other MIDI controllers I was also looking at was the Akai MPK Mini, where you have the drum pads on there as well as the keys. That being said, it is more than twice the price of the Nektar, and I just didn't have it in my budget this time. Lastly, we have the Apex HB35 headphones. Awesome introductory headphones. Really nice and comfortable. They fold up so you can carry them with you if you're going out and about. Really comfortable, $49.99. This put me $5 over budget. I figure if you're going to spend $500, an extra $5 isn't going to be a huge deal. That being said, if you do need to go under that $500 budget, you can go with the headphones that Devin mentioned earlier. Now, in terms of upgrading this setup in the future, there's a few different things I would do. In terms of the interface, I would probably go to something with a few more inputs in it so you could record multiple things at once, whether that's singing and playing guitar at the same time, or if you want to record an acoustic drum kit, you'll need a little bit more inputs for that. Probably the main thing that I would consider upgrading is the microphone. If I was using the mic solely for recording guitar, for miking up my amp, I'd probably look at a upgraded Shure dynamic mic. The SM57 comes to mind. If I'm doing vocals, I'd probably Aston microphones in particular. Awesome microphones. That's probably what I would add the next step up. In terms of MIDI controllers, this thing's awesome, but I would probably look for something with some drum pads on it, as well as some just a little bit, something with a little bit more flexibility built onto the actual MIDI controller. Additional keys would be good too. I mean, it's always nice to have a few more octaves built onto it. That being said, you can go up or down octaves right on here with these two buttons here. Lastly, headphones are awesome, but next step up, definitely you would want to get some studio monitors. In terms of software as well, I would probably upgrade Cubase just to get a few more of the features that you can get with some of the higher end stuff, and the plugins as well. I mean, I love some good guitar plugins, and like James mentioned earlier, there's tons and tons and tons of stuff on the market. At that point, it kind of becomes personal taste.